Have you ever wondered if your dog is seeing something you don't? Imagine the scene. It's an ordinary night and you're sitting comfortably in your living room when your dog suddenly starts barking at an empty corner where your grandfather used to sit and spend his afternoons. This enigmatic behavior of many animals raises a troubling question. Could they be perceiving presences invisible to the human eye? Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might surprise you. In the supernatural world, stories about dogs barking at ghosts or cats purring at invisible presences are quite common. Many pet owners around the world report that their pets repeatedly focus their attention on empty areas of the house, acting strangely as if drawn to something beyond human understanding. What you're about to discover is that this animal behavior is not limited to urban legends. There is a rich tapestry of cultures and beliefs supporting the idea that our four-legged companions possess a special sensitivity. Fascinating stories, like that of the dog Hachiko, who waited for his owner for years, illustrate the extraordinary ability of animals to perceive and remember something we cannot see. But is there scientific basis for these beliefs? Studies on animals' sensory perception reveal that dogs especially have an extremely keen sense of smell, capable of detecting subtle changes in the environment, including the presence of pheromones left by people or even environmental changes that could suggest something beyond the material plane. Furthermore, enigmatic behaviors such as barking at empty spaces or following with their eyes something we cannot see reinforce the perception that dogs may indeed be alerting us to something out of the ordinary. Now imagine your own pet looking at an empty corner of the room. Is it sensing something beyond our understanding, or simply reacting to stimuli only it can detect? Have you experienced this? If you've ever found yourself thinking about how many times your pet seemed more attentive, calm, or even disturbed for no apparent reason, you're not alone. Many owners share this same doubt. These instances of peculiar behavior are not mere coincidences. Many suggest that animals are receivers of the energies around them, picking up vibrations and presences beyond our reach. The ability of animals to react to inaudible sounds, imperceptible smells, and to see or feel magnetic fields is a fascinating field of study that attracts both skeptics and believers eager for mystery. And this leaves us with a very intriguing and somewhat inevitable question. What else are our pets capable of seeing? What have we yet to perceive? Are there hidden secrets of the world that only their eyes can unveil? Stay with me, because in the next part of our video, we will dive even deeper into this question, exploring real testimonies and delving into studies that offer a closer look at this intriguing connection between the sharp senses of our animals and the possible mysterious world of invisible presences. Get ready, because the mysteries revealed may change the way you see the reality around you and the silent company of your faithful animal friend. What you discover may be the key to understanding this extraordinary link between the material and the ethereal. As we dive into this universe, where mystery and reality seem to intertwine in the attentive eyes of our faithful four-legged companions, it is impossible not to marvel at the possibilities. These furry beings who live by our side may have much more to teach us about the invisible world than we ever dared to imagine. By observing the way our pets react to the unknown, many of us may see ourselves reflected in their curious and attentive eyes. For many, these mysterious episodes are not mere coincidences, but opportunities for introspection and connection. Have you ever found yourself wondering about the possibilities behind your cat's fixed gaze or your dog's persistent barking? If so, I would be happy to know that this space is made precisely to share and explore these experiences. If this topic resonates with you, please feel free to leave a comment below, sharing what touched you the most or your own stories with your pet. Your participation is essential for us to form a community rich in experiences and support each other in discovering these invisible subtleties that surround us. Also, if you are enjoying our dive into the mysterious world of pets interacting with the beyond, liking this video helps much more than you might imagine. Every like is an encouragement for us to continue creating content that explores this fascinating intersection between the visible and the ethereal. And of course, if you want to keep following our journey through the mysteries and curiosities, not only of the supernatural world, but also of incredible animal perception, subscribe to the channel. Your presence is what makes this space grow and reach more people who, like you, are eager for stories and discoveries that challenge the ordinary. Together, we will explore the secrets hidden in the forgotten corners of our homes and in our hearts, always guided by the attentive eyes of our beloved animal companions. Stay with us, because what comes next promises to take us even deeper into understanding this fascinating and still little explored world. On a quiet night, the living room seemed wrapped in an aura of familiarity and comfort. Everything was in its usual place: the worn sofa, the lamp casting soft shadows on the walls, and a gentle roar from the television in the background. But there is something different in the air. Rex, the family dog, begins to display curious behavior. His attention fixes on a specific corner of the room, the corner where, until recently, his favorite owner spent afternoons immersed in an old book with a faded cover or simply lost in thought, perhaps mentally reviewing the stories he had lived. That corner is now empty, but Rex does not seem to notice the man's absence. Or perhaps he notices more than that. The hairs on the back of his neck rise gently, as if an invisible and ethereal breeze passes only through that small portion of the world. Without warning, Rex begins to bark, a sound that fills the room with echoes blending with the background noise of the television. To observers, this might seem trivial, but there is a magnetism in the scene that draws attention to what cannot be seen, to what might be unfolding behind the scenes of our conscious perception. The strength of this moment is not merely circumstantial. It raises profound questions about animals' ability to perceive what escapes our everyday understanding. Are there secrets, hidden truths, revelations yet to be made? The eyes of a dog, which are now portals that can see beyond the material, trigger a journey through the unknown. The human mind has its solid decisions grounded in logic, but what about a dog that follows its instincts, its intense intuition? There is something almost poetic in this silent dance between the empty space and Rex's attentive gaze. It leads us to wonder, are there presences beyond what our human senses can capture? Or maybe it is simply the sensitive heart of a dog reacting to the persistent memory of the scent, the presence, and the affection of the owner who is gone. Still, the possibility that something deeper and more transformative is at play sharpens the most intense curiosity. Perhaps this enigmatic scene is not just a coincidence, but a reflection of the very complex and intricate nature of our interactions with the spiritual and energetic world that surrounds us. As human beings, often limited by our own perceptions and mentalities, it is remarkable to contemplate how vast the universe around us is, a universe that extends beyond the stars and whispers through the walls of our homes in the form of echoes of what once was. Rex's perception seems to invite us to explore these boundaries, not as an exercise in overcoming reality, but as a surrender to the possibility that there are more things between heaven and earth than our current knowledge has fully embraced. Now, I want to go even deeper into this subject, touching on the memories this behavior may evoke in us, regarding the impact this understanding can have on our own journey of self-knowledge and interpretation of reality. Both Rex and we embark on an exchange of silent transformations, where decisions are made not by rationality, but by something more intuitive, perhaps linked to the very vital energy that moves everything and everyone. Before we continue exploring, I want you to think about what this kind of account awakens in you. Have we ever had moments when we perceived something inexpressible, as Rex seems to do? If this makes sense to you, and if your personal experiences resonate with this narrative, leave a comment saying, "I'm on this journey too." With this simple connection, we unite in a common understanding, seeking answers that may await us interwoven between the everyday and the inexplicable. Rex's enigmatic behavior, barking at the empty corner of the room, is not an isolated case and awakens a universe of curiosity that goes beyond the superficial, penetrating the depths of what science can explain. Many animal behavior specialists, such as veterinarians and ethologists, have explored animals' ability to access a world that we humans can only speculate about, touching the invisible nuances of our daily lives with a sensitivity that surpasses data and charts. According to some scholars, like the renowned Dr. Rupert Sheldrake, animals are endowed with a sixth sense that allows them to pick up vibrations and electromagnetic waves beyond human reach. Studies explore how dogs, for example, can perceive changes in magnetic fields, a phenomenon some associate with behavioral changes when they sense earthquakes or other disasters. This leads us to the fascination with how these senses translate into everyday interactions within our homes and sometimes lean toward revealing the presence of those who are no longer with us but have left an unforgettable mark on our lives. Veterinarians often observe animals' reactions in environments that, to us, are just empty spaces, but are charged with history and emotional energy. These reactions are frequently reported by intrigued owners seeking answers for abrupt changes in their loyal companions' behavior. According to Dr. Andrea McLeod, an animal behavior specialist, man's best friend has an incredible capacity for emotional resonance with their owners, a connection that goes beyond verbal language and operates behind the scenes of sensitive communication. There is also the theory of pheromone particles and other signals that, although invisible to the naked eye, are widely perceived by animals. The ability to detect these tiny cues often triggers a chain of responses that seem inexplicable to us. Imagine how complex the internal application of canine instincts must be, allowing them to process and react to information we can barely register. This sensitivity leads specialists to question to what extent animals can become our allies in detecting energies and supernatural phenomena, like a simultaneous parallel of hidden communication. Research conducted by Kyoto University has shown impressive results highlighting dogs' ability to perceive human emotional states through means that completely challenge conventional science, such as detecting diseases through their highly refined sense of smell. This suggests that if animals can be so attuned to their owner's well-being and physical needs, they may be equally tuned to perceive presences that escape us, but that their sharp senses can capture in their subtlest forms. Now, I want to go even deeper into this subject, exploring the role of residual memories in environments, energized by the vibrations of past emotions, and how animals navigate this landscape, so mysteriously close to the ethereal. This exploration not only invites us to reconsider the boundaries of our understanding of the animal world, but also to use this knowledge to fuel our reflections on our own impact and presence in this world. If this conversation resonated with you in some way, I would love to hear your impressions and experiences. Comment here, "This makes sense to me," as together we continue to explore the many corridors of perception and the unknown. When we look at Rex, standing there, with his gaze fixed on the corner where his owner used to settle, it is almost inevitable that a part of us surrenders to the possibility that he is perceiving something beyond what his normal senses capture. The idea that animals are capable of sensing supernatural presences is not recent. It dates back centuries of traditions and beliefs spread around the world, each bringing to light intriguing revelations about the connection between the natural and the ethereal realms. In Japanese culture, for example, legends about spirits called yokai, or the souls of ancestors, still present in the earthly plane, are abundant. It is said that cats, in particular, have a special connection with the spiritual world. Some believe they can see and even communicate with these spirits. This is reflected in the figure of the bakaneko, a mythical cat that, according to stories, guides the dead on their journey to the beyond. We often find in Celtic folklore and indigenous cultures the belief that animals not only have a connection to the earth, but are also intermediaries between our reality and other planes of existence. These spirit animals, which appear in many tales, are seen as guardians who bring messages from beyond, acting as sentinels of the energies that surround us, directly impacting our vital space. In Egyptian tradition, cats were revered as sacred beings. The goddess Bastet, depicted as a woman with the head of a lioness or cat, was the personification of fertility and protection against evil spirits, suggesting that the ancients' understanding of animals transcended the physical, elevating them to a realm that captures spiritual vibrations. Ancient Egypt cultivated the mindset that by living in harmony with these beings, it was possible to benefit from their sensitivity to invisible forces. By diving into these traditions and allowing our minds to absorb these ideas, we end up altering our perception of what really happens behind the invisible scenes of the world we inhabit. We consider that perhaps the way animals respond to certain stimuli that seem random or illogical to us is, in fact, a key to understanding the impact of the supernatural on everyday life. These popular beliefs encourage us to ponder how open we are to perceiving beyond what is presented tangibly. Perhaps true transformation happens when we allow our own senses, and not just those of our furry companions, greater openness to these energies. We are always searching for a hidden truth that seems to slip away just when we think we have grasped it. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, considering that these beliefs are not limited only to a distant past or ancestral peoples. They continue to influence our modern culture and the way we interpret the very nature of the inexplicable in our days. How can we allow these stories and myths to guide our decisions and the way we see our daily interactions with the animals we love and respect? Exploring these concepts leads us to draw a new mental map where the journey unfolds through stories, some real, others legendary, but all carrying a substratum of truth that resonates with human curiosity. Would we then be capable of rekindling these same sensitivities within ourselves? A question that continues to challenge and provoke new ways of thinking. If this dive into the supernatural world awakens something within you, tell us how you see this interaction between animals and invisible presences. Right here, I'm on this journey too, as we continue to explore the mysteries that exist beyond the immediate, revealing more layers of what is visible and what finds roots in the spiritual essence of the world. As we delve deeper into the idea of our pets as sentinels of the supernatural, it is also crucial to consider the perspective of skeptics, who provide a counterpoint grounded in scientific explanations. For many, the behavior of animals, like rexes, can be explained without resorting to mysticism or invisible forces. According to skeptics, animals react to concrete stimuli, sweet or subtle to us, but still part of a natural world that we can, on some level, measure and understand. For example, one explanation for this behavior may lie in the ultra-sensitive level of dogs' senses. A dog's sense of smell and hearing are notoriously much sharper than those of a human. Often, when a dog barks at what seems to be empty space, it may actually be picking up low sounds or ultrasonic frequencies emitted by electronic devices, or a slight draft carrying unfamiliar scents to the animal's trained nose. Moreover, animals are experts at detecting even the smallest changes in the environment. Perhaps a different atmospheric pressure or the almost imperceptible movement of an insect is capturing their attention at that moment. Behavioral psychology offers another dimension to understand these reactions. Conditioning theory explains that dogs can associate certain behaviors with past events. Perhaps the corner where Rex fixed his gaze was a place of many positive memories, where he played or received affection from his owner. Thus, his current behavior could be a learned response, a way to seek interaction or comfort. Furthermore, skeptics raise the hypothesis that behavioral changes often manifested by animals can be responses to previous traumatic experiences or environmental stress. Like us, dogs can exhibit distinct behaviors in response to emotional stimuli that are invisible to us, picking up signals of change in their routines or disturbances in their daily lives. It is worth remembering that in science, seeking understanding through direct observation and measurement is a crucial method. This does not exclude the validity of subjective experiences, but enriches our narrative with a richer range of interpretations. Comparing these rational explanations to equally ambiguous situations in which humans react to the unknown, we observe that the roots of behavior can be physiological and psychological, sometimes much more than spiritual. Now, I want to go even deeper into this subject and consider how these approaches intertwine in our personal and cultural understanding, as well as influence our choices when dealing with the unknown in our daily lives. The dialogue between belief and science often offers us a chance to reflect on how we perceive the world around us and make decisions based either on the analytical mind or emotional intuition. As we navigate this tangle of possibilities and understandings, it is interesting to see how even a scientific interpretation does not diminish the wonder of observing our interactions with animals. On the contrary, it adds layer upon layer, transforming our perception into something rich and multifaceted. So, if this skeptical approach resonates with your own experiences or questions, feel encouraged to share. Comment here, "This makes sense to me," while together we continue to explore the multiple paths that truth can take, always keeping mystery and curiosity at the forefront of our exploratory journey. As we reflect on the spectrum of beliefs and approaches that permeate our understanding of animal behavior, a question arises as complex as the very experiences we seek to decipher. Can we, or should we, fully trust what animals tell us through their actions and reactions? Our almost telepathic interaction with them leads us to interpret them as messengers of subtle signals, but we also need to ask what margin of subjectivity is involved in this translation. Animals are essentially a blank canvas onto which we project our hopes, fears, and desires. Thus, when a dog barking at nothing is assumed to be an omen or a spiritual manifestation, it is relevant to inquire to what extent this reflects a hidden truth or is a construction of our own mindset. This projection places us at the center of a discussion that challenges the boundary between what is scientifically demonstrable and what remains in the realm of personal belief. The instinctive nature of animals offers us an unfiltered view of responses to environmental and emotional changes, which makes us trust their sensitivity to detect anomalies we might not perceive. However, the question arises as to how much of these reactions are purely instinctive, or if there is a substrate of rational judgment that should be considered. Are their manifestations clear signals, or should these clues be analyzed with more caution and criteria to avoid hasty decisions or overinterpretations? Although often fascinated and seduced by the idea that a dog or cat can see beyond the visible, the question remains about the reality of these phenomena. The impact of these perceptions on our personal journeys of discovery can be profound, but we need to balance this with precise reasoning that does not sacrifice logic and reason. When we interact with our furry friends, what kind of signal are we actually receiving? And who guarantees that our decision to interpret a movement or behavior as having deep meaning is not simply an attempt to connect dots that do not necessarily form a clear picture? Now, I want to go even deeper into this subject, exploring how our desire to seek meaning can influence the interpretation of these signals, leading us to make decisions based on intuitions and feelings that, while authentic, may not always be accurate. Our emotional connection with animals is a powerful and transformative aspect of our lives, but it is equally necessary to consider the role of tangible evidence and careful logic in building a balanced perspective on the phenomena we experience. Unraveling this mystery invites us to maintain an open mind, where sensitivity to the extraordinary does not automatically lead us to unquestioning acceptance, but rather to a continuous investigation rich in intellectual curiosity and emotional reflection. If this reflection on signs and interpretations touches your understanding or raises new questions, right here. I'm on this journey too, as we navigate together the nuances of what it truly means to understand the world around us through the eyes and senses of our animal companions, always attentive to every detail that may lead us to unexpected revelations. When weaving the complex thread that connects the enigmatic behaviors of our pets to the vast universe of meanings we create around them, we find a tapestry enriched by diverse layers of interpretation. We consolidate the belief that animals' ability to perceive the unknown carries both charm and mystery, prompting us to explore more deeply both in the spiritual and scientific fields. This intertwining of knowledge invites us to reflect on the continuous transformation of how we see and interact with our world and the beings that inhabit it, We observe how spiritual traditions from various cultures elevate our animal companions to the role of guides from beyond, potentially connected to hidden truths that escape our common perception. Between myths and realities, the narrative reveals the journey of deciphering the mystery of the inexplicable, fostering a rich dialogue between animals' instinctive perception and our yearning for rational understanding. Skeptics, in turn, serve as a reminder not to succumb to the ease of accepting the extraordinary without constant scrutiny, proposing careful and informed analysis when interpreting the signs our animals demonstrate. Now, I want to go even deeper into this subject by considering the raw beauty of our interaction with animals, which, above all, remains a dance between understanding and mystery. In this dance, it is up to us to decide how to interpret the steps taken by our furry friends around phenomena we cannot see but can feel. The ability to make informed or intuitive decisions regarding these experiences directly influences how we position ourselves in relation to the fantastic and the practical in our daily lives. It is important that this personal journey does not end with mere conclusions or definitive answers, but rather paves the way for new questions and explorations. At its core, the relationship we maintain with our animals is not only a window to unconditional love, but also a mirror reflecting the complexity of the human being in their search for meaning. We, as individuals involved in this rich tapestry, have the opportunity to learn and grow alongside our companions, absorbing their reactions as clues for a deeper understanding, both of ourselves and the world around us. At the end of this frank conversation, we encourage each of you to revisit your own experiences and explore how these interactions with your pets may have revealed insights or raised questions. We want to hear your stories, the nuances of everyday life that may have gone unnoticed, or that, when recalled now, take on new colors and interpretations. Share these accounts, for each story is a stone in our collective mosaic of knowledge and understanding. Write this down. I'm on this journey too, as we continue to explore together, one step at a time, the vast and fascinating territory of connections between beings, visible and invisible. If you have made it this far, it is because there is something in this exploration of the connections between us and our animal friends that resonated with you. You know, providing this space for discovery and reflection is something that values the unique journey each of us takes. If you felt that this message brought value and new perspectives to your day, consider subscribing to the channel. Here we always seek to offer content that challenges, inspires, and invites a new way of seeing the world. And speaking of new perspectives, I would love to know that you stayed with me until the end of this video. Leave a comment saying, "I'm with you until the end." Your participation is what truly makes these conversations rich and meaningful. Oh, and don't forget to leave your like if you felt this connection. It helps us know that we are on the right track, bringing topics that touch both the mind and the heart. Now, if you are ready to continue this exploration, there is a video here on the side that complements this subject. Click and continue with me over there. There is always more to discover, and I look forward to continuing this journey by your side.